This is Stefan from Neaera, and you're watching CMS TV.
CHRIS Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin, and today on the show, we are going to introduce a lot of you to a band that I'm sure you're not aware of yet, but you need to be. These guys are vicious. What a vicious album, brand new album called All Is Dust. The band is Neaera, and here to talk all about it is the guitarist of the band, Mr. Stefan Keller. Stefan, how are you, man?
I'm perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, dude, you guys make it easy to have you on when you have such a killer record. I'm gonna tell you up front, I knew nothing about your band prior to your publicist sending it to me, and I get 500 CDs a week or 500 links a week to listen to stuff, and if it's something I don't know, it's really got to make me stop and listen. And this record, my goodness, it's definitely modern. It's definitely heavy as hell, but you guys have some old school elements into it too, like the old Nothing Face sort of vibe a little bit to it. And I love it. It's just great metal the way it should be today.
Thank you so much. I mean, thank you so much. Like, I'm very humbled to hear that, because particularly for a guy like you that says like, I'm listening to so much music. And, I know so much music, and then there's something that, surprises me. And, that's, of course, a very big compliment, And, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we're trying to fuse everything into our sound that we like, we don't like boundaries too much, and we try to free ourselves from it. And, we have, like, roots in hardcore music, but we also have roots, like, in the death metal scene, and in thrash metal music. We're fans of black metal music as well, so we're trying to put everything that we like and we think is appropriate into our music, not caring too much about categories and stuff. So it's great that you appreciate that.
Sure. Now, Stefan, let me ask you, when you do that, when you cover a lot of boundaries, is it hard to find an audience to listen to it? Because you know how it is out there. Everybody picks their poison, whether they like classic metal or new metal or extreme metal or black metal. There's not the overall metal fan does not generally gravitate to something that goes all over the place. Is it hard to find an audience for you guys?
Well, I mean, of course, you're absolutely right. For a person like, I'm 44 years old. I've been listening to music, so metal music since I was 11 or 12. And so I've spent a lot of time in the metal scene as well. I love the scene, but at the same time, you're right. There's so many people who say like, I only love power metal and I hate black metal music, and the black metal fans do not really appreciate any kind of other metal. There's a lot of gatekeeping and these kind of things, but for us, of course, as a band, it's a little difficult, At some stage, you're always a little bit in between somewhere or between the chairs, But for example, when we listened to the first bands like from the US that played like a core sound, a metalcore sound, Killswitch Engage, Unearth, the Black Dahlia Murder, when these bands put out their debut records, we thought, like here in Germany at the time, no, everything is possible, It is possible that you could merge different kinds of sounds, The bands in the US did it, and they dared it, and the people love it, And we thought, like, this is great, This is the way to go. Why not combine the strength, of hardcore music, the power, the spontaneity of hardcore music, the groove, with like the depth and the power and the melody of metal, of heavy metal, and we thought it's a great idea to merge it, and we picked up this wave, very, very quickly, 20 years ago, and we loved it, and since then, I think we try to free ourselves more and more from any kind of, categories, even like from the metalcore genre, and do whatever we want, Sometimes you have to free yourself again, like with every record, this time also free yourself from expectations, from maybe limitations that you set yourself, maybe even in a subtle or subconscious way, but other than that, we are very happy, to be able to do our thing and not to care about too much whether people, love it or like it or hate it or something like this. We're not living off the band financially, so we have the privilege, of doing whatever we want.
Right on, man. Well, Stefan, let's dig into it, man. All Is Dust is the new record. It is an absolute smoker. Like I said, I mean, there's no lulls in this. You put it on, and it's just a beating for 45 minutes or so. Tell me about this record and how long it took to write it and how you guys came up with the ideas to write it. I'm sure a lot of it comes from you as the guitar player.
Yeah, exactly. We have like this songwriting trio in our band. It's Sebastian, our drummer. It's Tobias, the other guitarist, and it's myself. And we always used to write the music as a 3-piece. 3 is a great number, I think, for writing music. You can interact with each other very well. It's not like a big fight where you have like 5 people or more or something. And, everyone has his room, and his space that he needs, And, we've always been writing music like this, except for the 7th record, which Tobias did on himself very much alone. And the others like added ideas in the end, so to say. But he came up with all the ideas for the comeback record, for the 7th record. But this time we did it the way that we did it in the olden days, 3 people in a rehearsal room, no software, no computers, no technical things, just like very handmade, very organic, very like human way of, making music, like it was done like 3 or 4 years ago.
Sure, definitely. Now All Is Dust was produced by Janusz Rathmer. What led you to work with Janusz? Was it just that you've heard other work that has been done by him, or what was it that led you to working with him to produce? And and the other question, I want this to be kind of a 2-part thing. You guys have done several records at this point. What is it that makes you even feel like you need a producer at this point? You know what you want to capture.
Yeah, right. I mean, first of all, Janusz is a longtime friend, of the band. First of all, he jumped in for Neaera like 20 years back when our drummer broke his hand, and he played like 2 shows on the drums for it because he's a drummer. Yeah, he's the drummer of a German, very famous German post-rock instrumental post-rock band called Long Distance Calling, and he also played in the metalcore band a while ago, what was called Misery Speaks. And so we're very long time friends, and we made music together. I also played with him in a band, in a German grindcore band called Malzahn. So there are a lot of like parallels, interactions there for a long time. And then he said, like, guys, I'm opening up a studio, and I'm just starting with it, And so we thought, like, yeah, that's great, and it's even like in our own town. So we could like record a little bit, and then maybe start again, or continue the next day, or continue the day after that. And it gave us a lot of freedom, to combine it with family and work and stuff. And he has so much experience as a musician, and has such a great taste of music that we thought, like, this is like the perfect match, And in the end, he worked very well together with Christian Keller, who did the mixing and the mastering. Maybe some of you will go and know him from what he did with the Belgian band Aborted. And he just like did exactly, or gave us exactly the sound that we were looking for. A little bit dirty, but overall still like very massive and very powerful. It was the first perfect choice, and particularly these two together was also a perfect choice.
Sure, and you're so right about the mix. I was going to bring that up as well. This record, especially in headphones, I listened to it in the car and I listened to it in headphones. My God, it blows your head off when you've got the headphones on. The mix is so good, which is rare for this kind of music. Usually if it sounds really good in headphones, it's almost a little too clean, but this is like, it's still got that dirty bar feel to it, but it just rocks, man. It's a great job with the mix.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, when we wrote the record, we thought like, we only made up our choice, like who's going to mix this or who's going to master it, like when we were half through with the writing process, because we thought like, we need to know what these songs are like, and what direction this is that we're taking. And after we were like half through with the songs, we thought like, we know now what kind of song, what kind of sound these songs need, and we figured like they're organic, they're of course powerful, but we need someone who brings like this, who makes it sound alive, because with this record, it's a little different. It doesn't, it wouldn't need like a sterile, cooled sound or production, all the life that was in the sound and in the songs, and even in the recordings, had to survive somehow and had to be brought on this record for the songs to breathe, And it was very difficult. We thought so much about it, and we had so many discussions about it. Like, who could be the right person for this? And we ended up with Christian Keller, and thought like he could be the one,
right?
Luckily he was, But I think he's a nerd, in the best possible way. He knows everything about the technical stuff behind it.
Right.
He has all these microphone videos and guitar amp videos and everything. So he's a real nerd when it comes to that. And he put all his knowledge and his understanding also of music into it. And so glad that you like it so much, and so glad it came out the way that we wanted it to be.
Right on. Well, let's dig into the record, man. I always start with my favorite track on the record. Not that that means anything, but it's just the one that moves me the most. For you guys, it's definitely Dividers. I know that's a little deeper in the record, but what a burner. I mean, geez. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Well, I mean, I think we wrote it maybe at the sixth or seventh song that we wrote during the songwriting process. We started out with this whip and thought like, this is so simple, this is such a primitive riff, to start with. But then we thought like, yeah, it's effective, and what else can you aim for, than writing songs or riffs that are effective. At the same time, it has this very very fierce blast beat chorus, you know, that goes on for a very long time, and has a lot of like parallels to like the death black scene, like maybe like bands like The Section or something like this.
Right.
If you would ask me, you know, so it's that's about this song.
Sure. Another one I wanted to ask you about, and it's one that you did the video for, is the title track, Is All Is Dust. First track that you wrote, or is it the best track on the record in you guys' opinion? I mean, obviously, if you did a video and named the record, I'm assuming that it's one you guys relate to as one of the better ones. Yes.
Yeah. If you ask our singer, he can say like it's the favorite song with Specifier. He's like a big fan. He was so happy when we played it to him and thought like, what do you think about? We came up with this, and he's so like, you know, guys, that's like the best song you ever wrote in our whole life, you know.
Right.
But for me personally, it is definitely All Is Dust. I'm quite proud of the song because I think it shows a little different face of the band, you know. And for us, it's always, or for every band, it's important that you have some kind of development that you feel comfortable with, you know. For every band, it's something different. It means something different, you know. There can kind of a progressive band that says like, you know, we need to invent ourselves anew with the next record. But you can also have a band that says like, you know, a little bit development is fine with us, a little improvement of the sound. And for us, this was something like, we thought like, okay, we haven't played that kind of music before, really. Oh, sure. It's the riffing, it's the guitar work. You know, we were influenced a lot by the Canadian post-deathcore band Wake, which is not something that you could hear directly in the sound, you know, but they have been there in the background somehow. We're all loving that latest record of the band so much. And we thought like, maybe, you know, we can learn something from these guys, you know, how they do it, how they put like guitars underneath, combine things. So it's more like a subtle thing, you know, it's not too much something that you would recognize or it's obvious somehow. But they were there somewhere here and there in this song as well. And it's a song, free from any, you know, self-censorship. It has a black metal riff. It has like maybe some guitarist riff in the middle, something like this. It has like a blast beat that reminded me a little bit, or us a little bit of a Chemical Corpse riffing. It has this metalcore Heaven Burn riff at the beginning. So yeah, it is everything we have to offer.
Sure.
In terms of variety, you know, we put into that song. Of course.
Right. Now, who leads the development in the music as you progress? Is it you as the guitar player, or is it a collective thing where you all sit down and say, I wish the guitar sounded more like this and the bass sounded more like that? I mean, is there a true leader, somebody that comes in and says, okay, for this record, we want to be this, or in your off time, go and learn this, or so, you know, is there one person that leads that?
I would say it's rather our other guitarist, Tobias, than myself, I would say, because like we started writing music and so like, let's just start somehow, you know, let's see what comes up. We wrote a song, so like, great, first rehearsal, complete songs finished, excellent, you know. We continued to writing songs, and like after 2 or 3, I think after 3 songs it was, Tobias suddenly said, you know, somehow I don't feel too comfortable with these songs. I think they're a little too much, for me it's too much of a comfort zone. It sounds like a continuation of the last record, you know. And we thought about it and thought like, okay, what do you want to do? And he said like, I don't know, we need to step out of our comfort zone a little bit. We need to dare something. And, you know, I need to be entertained myself by the music. I need to be a little bit surprised by the music. You know, it has to kick me somehow, you know. And if I'm not excited about it, you know, I don't think we should do it, you know. And we thought like, okay. So it was already a few months in the making, you know, and it was a little bit like, all right, then is that a good idea? But we thought it was a good idea. And we said like, which direction should we really take? And then we discovered this band Wake and thought like, you know, this sounds new, this sounds cool, you know. Maybe we should also try to sound a little bit more, you know, fresh or a little newer somehow with our own sound. Maybe we can refresh our own sound a little bit, not too much, not neglecting our roots, or something, or our typical trademarks, but maybe we could add a few things into our sound, a few elements that we haven't before. Maybe that's a cool thing. And we started anew, and then the album took a completely different direction. And I'm thankful for it, because if we hadn't done that, I think it wouldn't have been so good.
Right. Well, Stefan, I'm curious what you think on this. I personally think that we are at a long overdue point metal-wise where new bands are starting to come back. It's been a long time since we've had. I would go back probably to like the Killswitch Engage time frame was kind of the last time we had a breakout of musical bands that kind of changed the style. And the last 15 years has just been kind of old bands are still around, and I'm not saying there's anything bad about that. I love Exodus and Metallica as much as anybody, but it seems like right now, like you mentioned, Wake or Sleep Token or, a myriad of other bands are finally breaking out and coming through with a style that does not match the old guys. Do you see it that way? And do you see your band as a part of that?
Well, I mean, I'm always open to new things. I like, for example, a band like Neaera is another band.
Sure.
A band that I would say, like, what kind of metal do they play? How could anyone really tell me this if you want to classify it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you pinpoint it and say like they are a thrash metal band, they're a death metal band? I don't have any kind of explanation or definition for their sound. It's somehow maybe like a band like Tool. It's free from being defined.
Right.
I think it's great. And personally, like as a musician from Germany, I think is way more conservative than the US, because in the US you have like tours or packages with completely different bands, that
right.
completely different sound, and that's something that is very very impossible in Germany, because here when bands go on tour, it always has to be like the same kind of metal. It has like a thrash metal package or something, and people love that, or it's a power metal package, it's a death metal package, but it's difficult to mix these kinds of bands from these genres and send them on a European tour. People would be like, oh, I like this, but why is this then off?
Mm-hmm.
And I always adored that about the States, that I think the metal scene there is more open-minded. For a band like Mastodon, for example, is so big in the US, and it's right, because it's a great band, But
sure.
In Germany, for example, they're also big, but cannot be compared in any way to their fame or something that they have in the US. And sometimes I think that's a pity, because we're not too open-minded, I think, to very cool, new, creative music, and there's so much out there, but at the same time, I mean, the metal scene probably better than I do, because you spend more time,
sure,
obviously, than I do. But so many bands are coming back, and still love coming back, and still the fans are still loving them. Yeah, so I got to say, I love the metal scene. I'm picking what I love about it, probably only the minority of the bands that are out there, but whenever there's some new things going on, I'm always open-minded.
Right on, man. Well, let me swing it back one last time to the record here. You mentioned Pacifier before, which is another killer track. It also has a video for it, which I'm going to put on the screen right here, so people can see a little bit of that while we talk about it. The specific question I wanted to ask, I'm assuming comes from you. The riff on this thing is monstrous. I mean, it's in my opinion, it's the biggest riff on the entire record. Tell me about the riff, and did you write the whole song, or was the whole song written around that big riff that powers it?
Do you mean that the opening riff? Or
the opening riff.
That was something that I wrote, particularly, but it's, I don't know what to think about it. It's yeah, it's I think it's a cool beginning of the song, whereas the song itself, takes on a completely different direction, with this desultory like melody under the verse, it's the band that I love a lot. And then there's also so many other parts in that song. It's quite versatile song. Has like these very typical trademarks. It's I like it because it's a little bit of a traditional Neaera song, I'd say. It has a lot of typical trademarks that we had like for the last 10, 15, 20 years also, but at the same time it somehow gives the sound a new direction, and maybe it makes it a little more perfect or cultivated or something. I don't know how to say it, but I think it turned out quite well, and it's such a long song. It's like
sure,
5.5 minutes. It's such a long song, even for a video, and of course it was a challenge for the team who did the video to say like, okay, 5.5 minutes. So what are going to do if it's a performance video,
right?
But I think they did a good job, and the cool thing about it is that many people who listen to it said like it doesn't at all appear to be like 5.5 minutes. I think
right.
If you asked me after listening to it, I thought like it's maybe 3.5 or 4 minutes, but it's not in the world is this song like 5.5 minutes long, which is really long time for a metal song. Well, but so somehow we must have managed to keep the listener busy, in their minds.
Absolutely.
So that they didn't really realize that the song actually steals quite a lot of time from their lives.
Very good, man. Well, people, I'm going to keep telling people this. They need to have more of their time stolen by Neaera, because this All Is Dust record is fantastic. Stefan, where should we tell people to go to actually buy merch and buy music and all that stuff? Is there a website, or is Bandcamp the best place, or?
Yeah, I would say you can buy merch and everything, all on the records, different kinds of packages, vinyl at Impericon, Germany. Also, because we're on Metal Blade Records, our 8th record that we did with the same record company. So of course on metalblade.com and metalblade.de you can find all kinds of CDs and merch and stuff. And Kings Road is another merchandise store that you can check out. So these are pretty much the three platforms where we can order the CD or grab some merch.
All right. Well, one more time, the band is called Neaera. The album is called All Is Dust. Make sure you check it out. Watch the videos on YouTube now. Buy the album. And again, I'm going to say it. Don't just stream it, people. Buy it, buy it, buy it. Help these guys survive. They're not surviving from that 1/1,000,000th of a cent that Spotify gives them. So hook them up. So one more time, Neaera, All Is Dust, and Stefan, thanks so much for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
Well, thank you so much. Absolutely enjoyed it. Great questions. I love it so much that you like the record. Thanks for your support, and only love from.
Hey, it's Chris Akin from Chris Akin Presents, the Classic Metal Show, and the Seth Williams Show. Now, we know it's frustrating to have to use this website for videos, that website for podcasts, and still another for the live shows. Well, let's end that shit right now. Get the Locals app and get it all in one place. This is free, folks. You don't have to pay to get most of the great content that we're doing. Like I said, it is free. On your phone or device, just go to locals.com in your iOS or Google Play Store, install it, and create an account. Open the app, Surf to the search from the bottom and type in Classic Metal Show. Then click Join. That's it. Once you join, you can click on the triangle button at the bottom, and you can select from videos, live streams, both past and active, or podcasts. Watch and listen right there. When a stream is live, you can participate in the chat right from that screen if you choose. If you want our exclusive content, just click support when you visit the Classic Metal Show community. It's simple, and it's the best way to stay engaged with all of my shows, so sign up today. Hail and kill.